Welcome in, everybody. It is Thursday afternoon. I'm Giggs, aka Giggs Higgs, or just Higgs, or whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me an Ohio State fan. So anyway, we are getting ready to have our second primetime matchup in a row at Duke. It'll be their first ever college game day experience, and we get to play against a coach that we know fairly well at Notre Dame, Mike Elko, our former defensive coordinator from 2017. One of the best defensive coordinators we've ever had. He moved on, was a defensive coordinator and safeties coach. I want to say at Texas A&M before moving on to ultimately becoming the head coach at Duke. He's got a pretty good football team, folks. He's coached them up really well. We knew that they were a trap team to play early in the season. They upset Clemson pretty bad. Clemson's not even ranked anymore. Thanks to that debacle. So Duke's sitting at 17 right now, and top 25 matchup of the week. Go figure. In primetime, also go figure. We're good at that at Notre Dame. This might be, and hear me out, not the best defense, but one of the best coached defenses we have seen all year. Now, why do I say that? They're not going to be the best defense, right? They've got a lot of 3 and 4-star recruits, but they've also got some 2-star recruits on the team. Not to take anything away from those guys, right? They're not the level of God-gifted athlete that we see, like at Ohio State or at Clemson, or some of the other places that we end up playing. So that's neither here nor there. They don't have any slouches on offense either, right? They are a good football team. They are a well-coached football team. They're only going to get better. They've got a real shot. Duke has a real shot at winning the ACC. The only team that really stands in their way is Florida State from making that ACC championship. So if they can get it done against FSU, even if they lose to us, they still have a real legitimate shot at winning the ACC championship. Riley Leonard, their quarterback, he's only been sacked once this season, which is pretty phenomenal. He's quick, he's elusive. You think you've got him, and all of a sudden he's got 2 or 3 yards on you. So NC State kind of did the same thing to us. I would expect that our defense is going to run a similar defensive package to what we did against NC State, with some of the lessons that we learned from Ohio State, right? Definitely have to keep contained against this guy. We can't let him get to the outside. He'll kill us. So we've got to keep him in the middle. We've got to keep him in the pocket. We've got to keep a good pocket around him, and find ways around. And that's how we'll win on defense. 1 sack this season, though. Irish need to increase that stat. Just no questions asked. We have got to increase that stat. That's going to be a big key to winning this football game and starting to kind of like kill those drives. We continue to learn from the games that we played. Obviously, we had some issues with Ohio State in the coaching department. I think every player on the team played some of the best games that they could possibly play. They all poured their hearts out. The crowd poured their hearts out. And we've got to do it again this week. So we can't look back. We got to look forward, learn from those mistakes, and keep moving on. It's just like life, right? Football is like life. Leonard is quick. Riley Leonard, he's a fast quarterback. He has the second most the second most rushing yards on that team. And he's only about 20 yards behind the running back, which is crazy for a team that's not like running triple option, right? Another thing that we're going to have to do, we really need to be extra careful throwing the ball this week. We have a coach that's really good at coaching defense and coaching safeties, and it shows on their stat cards. One of their safeties has 2 takeaways. We've got to be careful where we throw the ball and who we throw the ball to, and make sure that if they look open, that they're actually open. The ball's got to arrive on time. So yeah, this is probably this may actually be the best secondary that we've seen all year. In all honesty, I was impressed by Ohio State's secondary, but if they can keep us covered, I think they might even do a better job than Ohio State's secondary did at keeping our receivers out of the ball game. So how do we answer that? We run the football, right? That's how we prevent that. We've got to get them to bite on the run game. We've got to make sure that they think that we're going to run the ball, that they've got to defend against and respect the run. They've got to respect the inside. We got to make sure that they respect the corners. That will open up the passing game, help us get in some situations where they start getting beat deep or getting into single coverage situations because they've got to run man or they can only run cover one or something like that. And if you don't know what cover one is, for those of you who are newer to football and maybe paying attention to this, cover one is where you have one safety back in coverage. Cover two, you have two safeties back in coverage. They kind of like control a zone and they look for where the football is going to go, and then they rush to the ball or run to the ball. So everybody else is playing a single person. The safeties are playing back. Cover one safety. Cover two safeties. So a little football information for you there. Little defensive scheme information. Yeah. We need Audric Estime to have 100 rushing yards again. I think he can do it. I still haven't looked at the stats, the rushing stats from the Ohio State game, but I think Estime was probably pretty close just from doing kind of some math on the field. He's probably in that like 80-yard range. And Jadarian Price and like in Love, like those guys, they played phenomenal games too. So we had well over 100 yards rushing. We got to do it again, right? We gotta rack up 200 plus yards of total rushing. That'll win us a ball game. Not easily, but it makes the load a lot lighter for Sam Hartman. I definitely think we'll get some more tight end production. Why do I say that? We have two wide receivers who are out, hurt. Colsey's out. He's getting his knee scoped. Not a good day as far as that goes. And Jaden Thomas, who actually is our number 2 receiver right now for yards, he is also out. He's listed as questionable. I guess he's going to be a game time decision. Might travel the team. I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure, more on Friday when we find out who's in practice and who's not. Prior to the game, because they'll fly down Thursday and they'll practice on Friday one time before the game starts. So I think Sam Hartman, he'll have another great game, right? Our team is bigger, right? Our team is bigger. They're more athletic. We have a great offensive line. They do a great job of keeping Hartman safe, well protected. That's how he's able to stay into the pocket. The pocket stays clean, even against teams where, like some of the better teams in the country that, the pocket stayed relatively clean over the past 4 games. So that helps, gives him time to throw. He's had a couple of spots where the pocket wasn't clean and he got tripped up and threw the ball into the ground or had a weird throw or something like that. To somebody who was wide open, and it always stinks. If you see a bad throw, keep an eye out for something like that. I know a lot of people were kind of razzing on Sam Hartman not doing his job or having some bad throws this past weekend, and that's the pocket's got to be clean, right? So there were a couple, right? But everybody makes their mistakes too. And I will say our defense has shown how good they are, right? We have, I really do, I keep saying this, we have, I think, the best secondary in the country. We've got an excellent front 3. Our linebacking core is the only spot where we're terribly weak, and it's not really a weakness. It's just that it's not A+ grade. It's A- grade, and they'll only get better. All right, that's just about 10 minutes, so we're going to call it there. God bless. I love you all. Keep looking up. Go Irish. Beat Duke. We got this on Saturday, guys, just as long as we're looking forward and not looking back. We'll see you soon. If you're watching on Twitter, on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much. Have a great night.